All right, let's go ahead and get started. Thank you, everyone, for coming to our session. Stop calling it self-service if no one is using it.
Spicy.
Yeah, that's how we like to keep it. I'm Katrina Menne. This is Jake, and we are from Sigma. Please stop by our booth if you want to find out more about our product or how we're helping solve this problem of self-service analytics. It's the big yellow sign at the on that side. So we have all been promised this idea of self-service analytics, this idea of anyone can go and look at the data and answer the problem or answer the questions for themselves. We have all been lied to. We have all been misled, and we are actually failing the people that matter most. We're failing our business users by not actually providing them the analytics or the access that they need. We did a survey earlier this year, and 71% of respondents said that they reported scalability issues with CI. It's not solving the problems that they need in the scale that they need it to. We also saw 80% of enterprise companies cite a lack of real-time data access was a major challenge for them. Not only can they not scale BI, but they can't get the answers fast enough. But how did we get here? Jake, how did we get here?
How much time do we have?
A lot.
No, I'm just kidding. So you can enjoy this meme. Just trying to figure out, there's always this grandiose idea that for the past 15 years, we'll purchase some software and everybody will be able to self-serve and everything will be great. And the obvious meme is, are you sure about that? I'm sure we can all appreciate that. But, fundamentally, how did we get here? I'll tell you a story, and I'm sure if this has happened to you, please raise your hand. Or maybe if you don't want to, that's fine. I think it was about 6 years ago. I was a consultant with. Can we name the names? Is that fine?
It's on your slide.
Oh, okay.
We
And it. Okay. So I was consulting. It was a Tableau consultant, working with a CPG company, and I spent the whole week, 40 hours, getting my Tableau dashboard ready to go, super tabular. Great visualizations, and then the business came back and said, well, can you just add a few more columns, keep it tabular so I can export to Excel? Anybody ever? Baby? Okay. All right. More. Come on. It can be fun. But, that is a real pain. And I think a lot of the platforms that were built primarily before the advent of the cloud data warehouse like Snowflake or Databricks, they didn't have the right architecture to be able to scale. And so what ended up happening, we had to do lots of aggregates. You serve up those aggregates, and then the folks just want to see the data. So that was kind of the first problem of how we got here. And there's a nice meme of if you've ever tried to import a full data set in Tableau, good luck. And then in sort of the next generation, there was this massive focus on governance. Tools like Looker, they said, put it all in LookML. It's going to be great. Your users will be able to self-serve. But at the end of the day, you ended up creating just another set of problems where everything had to go through the data team. Everything had to be checked into Git. And really, there's this nice balance of here is my governed data platform on Snowflake or Databricks or whichever warehouse you're using. And then you're able to empower business folks to actually explore data at scale, see the transactional data. So those are the problems. I guess I just said what we can do next, but that's how we got here.
Yes. So this is a obvious problem. We've all experienced this, but how? Oh, you forgot.
Where did it go?
You went through those ones. You forgot some of your slides.
That's
That's okay. Enjoy our previous
No,
needs.
it's having fun.
So we've all experienced this pain. We know what bad looks like, which is what we're experiencing today. But what does good look like? How do we know if we are actually succeeding in self-service analytics? Here are some benchmarks, or here are just some ideas for you to take home to think about how are my folks, how are my business users, how is my organization thinking about using data? We all strive to be data-driven. Again, that's a huge buzzword of, oh yes, we're going to make decisions based off of data. But what does that actually look like on a day-to-day? How do we know if we're doing a good job at it? So some ideas that we came up with are that decisions can be made in time for impact. How many of you have ever submitted a ticket and said, can I get this extra column added to this data? But your meeting is tomorrow and you don't get that information, you don't get that data in time in order to actually answer your question. This is a major problem that we experience. So think to yourself, are people able to answer questions in the time frame that's needed? Or in the time frame that's actually going to make an impact? Yes, we can have weekly meetings, but do we have good decisions? Can we quickly interact with something when the market changes dramatically or unexpectedly? The second thing to think about is, are people asking good questions? Do people understand the data? Do they ask meaningful questions? Or is your entire inbox full of the, how do I download this to Excel? Or how do I get access to the thing that I've had access to for the last 6 months? The other thing that we can think about is just, again, overall vibes. What is the positive, or do you have a positive attitude towards data? Do people like your data team? Do people like your data product? Do people enjoy going into your system to answer questions? Or is it like chalkboard with nails scraping on chalkboard, where it's this painful experience of, I have to go over here to submit a ticket, I have to wait for this thing over here? Is it fun? It's really easy. That's it. That's all we're looking for. So you might be thinking, well, Katrina, that's really great ideas, but how do we actually make that happen? What are some ways that I can go home and improve self-service analytics in my organization? The first thing that we have found success with is access to granular live data. Again, if you remember at the beginning of the presentation, this is a major problem for enterprise organizations, is just getting to the details, being able to see the information. Again, we both have been in lots of presentations, lots of conversations with executives when you present a beautiful bar chart, and then there's a follow-up question. Oh, why is that bar chart that size? Why is that bar bigger than that one? And we want more information. So by giving folks access to that information, they can go actually self-serve that information and go find the answers for themselves. But you might be thinking, well, how do I actually do this in a scalable and meaningful and secure way? And this is an idea that I like to talk about of exploratory analysis that rewards curiosity. It's this idea that there's no shadow analytics, there's no shadow IT. You do genuinely get access to this information, and you're rewarded by a joyous experience to be able to explore that information, or again, going back and having a positive experience with your data team so you can have a meaningful conversation. Some things that I like to think about, or some other ways that you can think about this in your organization, is, are people able to ask and answer that follow-up question? Again, going back to good questions, is there something meaningful? Can they get to that answer? And then maybe that second or third question is something where they do need to come back to you. That's okay. We do want to have a conversation with our end users, but we also don't want to be bogged down with a bunch of tickets that are very easy or something that someone could answer ad hoc for themselves. Third is operationalize analytics. This is something where, when I was also a Tableau consultant, my first question was always, what decision are you trying to influence with this dashboard? What information do you need in order to make a decision or make a change within your organization? That is the end goal of analytics, is improving something or preventing, something bad from happening. So how can we move that operations or move those decisions into the conversation of analytics themselves, instead of this idea of, I'm going to go over here and look at my bar charts and look at my row level data in Excel, and then I'm going to go over there and I'm going to record information and just hope to the future that these two things are connected to each other, or maybe I'll remember why I made that decision. So think about a way that you can close that gap and make your analytics be in the same spot or record it in the same spot that you're making those decisions. And fourth, we've got continuous conversations. This is, again, that teamwork idea of, we want to have a pleasant experience with the data team, and we want our business users to come back and continue this conversation. I have created so many dashboards that I know will never be touched again. And this is, again, like, I spent in the same way, spent a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of energy into creating those. But what's the point if it stops adding value? There's nothing wrong with taking time to create a meaningful analysis, creating a data story if we find something interesting, but what happens when it stops adding value? And how do we know when it stops adding value? That's that continuous conversation where, maybe it's something where there's a standard of saying, hey, we're going to go back every quarter, we're going to go back once a year, and just kind of look at our usage metrics and see, has anyone actually logged into this? If they have, maybe we can take some pieces of information and combine it with a new analysis that we created. It is okay to sunset things, even if you did spend a lot of time building that or investing into that data model, if the value is no longer there. But again, we want to make sure that it's a conversation, a continuous conversation, so we're continuing to make sure that we're adding value with our analytics. So again, lots of great ideas, but how does this actually happen?
Yes, we should do it.
Yeah.
We should show how we do it at Sigma.
Yes.
Amazing. Alrighty. Where are we at? Cool. So we just highlighted, a fair amount of things around access to granular live data, being able to take action on it. And so we want to show you how we do it internally at Sigma for our more than 700 employees. So we are a SaaS product. So we are going to be a SaaS B2B sample data set here. And so what I want to walk you through again, this idea of granular data and being able to take action are three kind of flavors of Sigma workbooks that we use internally. The first, we want to make sure that our go-to-market teams, our business development reps, as well as our sales reps, can be more effective day to day. If we give them more time back, they can be more effective, more business closed, everybody wins. Then we'll move into this idea of, well, now we have deals in pipeline. How do we manage that effectively? And everyone from a rep to our CRO can understand it. And then we'll just talk about the kind of bread and butter, understanding what's going on across the business from a go-to-market perspective. So this is our personal territory management workbook, PTM for short. Naming things is really hard. But so our entire goal here is a sales rep logs in today and they're trying to understand, hey, I have a large territory of 1,000 accounts or maybe 1,500 accounts, whatever it might be. How can I just more simply understand which accounts I should go after? And more importantly, actually add some of my own context. My team provides a propensity score that we've created, but there's nothing quite like actually getting into an account to understand what's going on. And so at a very quick glance, using Sigma, I can come in and override the score and just call it an A. And so, again, while we have data being updated in Salesforce, we're able to pull in that information updated every hour, and then sales reps can actually add their own context. So, again, right besides your analytics, being able to take action is super important for us as we scale out. And then just a little bit more for a sales rep, trying to understand data and being able to see it. We never have to actually aggregate any of our information. So at any point, whether you're a sales rep, whether you're me, Katrina, you can always get into the actual granular data, which makes up these visualizations. So again, to Katrina's point, you show a nice visualization and the next question is always, well, where's the data? Can I actually see it? You need to feel it. So we make that super easy for our reps. The next part, relatively similar. So we've made our reps' lives a little bit better, but how do we understand what's going on in their deals, in their deal cycle? So this is our pipeline forecasting workbook. Again, the idea is keep folks centralized in one platform. Don't have them going to Salesforce, to HubSpot, to all these different platforms where all the analytics are kind of siloed. We can centralize it all because we've done that in Snowflake or Databricks, and then give them all this information directly in Sigma. So I'm a sales rep. I can call my forecast for a given quarter, and then I can also look at some action items that we've highlighted. So I could just see deals that are highlighted with tech risk, and I can document just like you would in Salesforce, but now we can have all this information synthesized directly in Sigma. So I could say, Jake is going to reach out. Not the best next step. I might get yelled at for that, but that's why I don't sell. And so this is just, again, another idea of this ability to combine transactional data with folks' thoughts in their own heads. And then the last part is just kind of, again, the bread and butter business intelligence, being able to understand what's going on in the business and take action within the Sigma platform. So this is our go-to-market operations workbook. Everyone in the company uses it. And again, at any point in time, we can get directly, if I wanted to drill down at any point to understand what this performance looks like for a given segment, whether it be enterprise or small to medium business, we can always do that. And using our governed metrics, we can also, it doesn't just stop here. Again, in a world where you have a Tableau dashboard and someone wants a new metric, you're sort of limited, and we have to go back to the data team to recreate that measure, publish the workbook. It's a long process. But at any point, I could change the metrics or the calculations that are going on, and I could also drag and drop and change other governed metrics. And so we tend to think about the dashboard or the workbook really as just the jumping off point or the starting point, which is fundamentally very different than other platforms that have been around for a while, where the dashboard is the end all be all. You need to pack everything into it. And then it's this constant cycle of, well, we need to go back to the data team. And we'll be back in 3 months, hopefully. And by that time, the decision's already been made. And so it's a tough conversation, that back and forth. So that's it. That's a little bit how we think about self-service internally at Sigma. I'm sweating quite a bit. It's hot.
It's toast here. I'm gonna go back to the.
Yeah, of course.
So that's it. In summary, our idea or our encouragement to you guys would be to transform self-service into the product mentality and focus on relationships. When you think about your analytics as an intention, a purpose to do something that is a product, you always want to be updating and continuing to improve your product. And again, having strong relationships with your data team, with your sellers, with your stakeholders is the way that you continue to produce products that have value to them. So if you're interested, you can download the survey that I mentioned at the beginning. And again, our booth is over on the far side. It's the big yellow sign. But does anyone have any questions for us? Yes.
What? Yeah, probably very dummy. Yeah. Yeah, but I. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, so for everyone, in case anyone didn't hear, the question was basically how do you provide or how do you help folks that are not as technical savvy or don't quite understand the things that they are looking at in the dashboard or in the data? I would say that that is a combination. It's a multi-prong approach in the sense that having a tool or having a platform that makes it easier to explore the back end of those things to say, oh, I can look at this number and I can see why this number is that number helps folks understand some of the, oh, this is how we got here. But then also there's that combination or that meeting the end user where they're at as far as, hey, this is what this metric means. So if you want to pull back up Sigma, one of the things that Jake kind of alluded to in the demo is if we do have a governed metric, I'm going to go to something that has a metric.
Yep.
There are these handy ways that you can drop these little nuggets or drop these little pieces of information that allow folks to kind of see, hey, this is the definition of this metric. You can add a more verbose or what am I trying to say?
Verbose.
Thank you. You can add as long or as short of a definition as you want. And then I would also encourage you to think about, again, having conversations, having open office hours. It's not a one-point solution. It's not a one-time like, oh, this is going to solve all of our problems in data. It's a continuous conversation of helping meet the end user where they're at and then making sure that you're aligned with what goal they're trying to get to and figuring out ways to help educate as well as encourage or positively encourage that exploratory analysis.
Yeah, I think that last part's the most important bit. It's not as if, you buy Snowflake, Databricks, you buy all these bits of software and then the job's done, right? It's always a continuous effort, whether it's building relationships with individual contributors all the way up to the CEO. Like, you can't just think that there's no magic wand here. And a lot of folks think that conversational AI will get us there. It's not yet. It'll be very far away. So it's not as if just buy a bunch of software and your job is done, right? It's hard work. But I think where we're going internally, we're getting there every day.
And it's exciting work. It's fun work as well. I love talking to people and seeing that light bulb moment when it's, oh, I get it. And now I know what to do. Now I feel confident in that number. So, yeah.
I know my but didn't know you. Yeah. Yeah. No, yeah. Yeah. Used to be another.
Yeah, you could embed it. So the question was, a lot of people work in Salesforce, but I think fundamentally, if you want to embed it, that's fine. But when you're dealing with change process, and you're saying, hey, we're moving from this tool to the other, the impact or the value needs to be like an order of magnitude, right? Or everyone's going to be like, what the hell are we doing? Why are we doing this? I don't want to do this. And so in that in particular, Salesforce has a bunch of native integrations. But again, the power of the cloud data warehouse is that we can bring all of that information together. So internally, when folks are trying to, what happened? That's fine. Trying to understand what's going on with their opportunities, we can combine product telemetry, we can combine Gong, we can synthesize all of this into one centralized place. So the value there compared to, well, I need to go to Outreach to look at this, what I've done. I need to go to Salesforce. It's a much better story, a lot more value. Guess you're seeing my picture. That's fine.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hello. Yeah, thank you. Well, you're able to do that.
Yeah.
Does that then feedback, say, into Salesforce so that data can be seen in Salesforce then?
Yeah, so all the information writes back. So just a quick story about Sigma. We are architected on top of all cloud data warehouses. We don't store any data or anything like that. So when you're using those input tables that we showed off, it's writing directly back to Snowflake or Databricks. So once that information's in the warehouse, there's no Google Sheet or Excel to manage. You can send it off to Salesforce if you wanted to, or any third-party system.
To business users, it's hard to articulate the return on investment and the benefits of some of this stuff. What are the most successful ways that you show that to business users?
I've got an answer, and I would love to hear your answer as well. So I think the easiest way, so put a caveat on that statement, is finding a single champion, someone that has influence in the organization that can actually make change and move things and really understand what that person is trying to accomplish in their job. If they're new to the job, are they trying to make a big splash? Are they trying to reduce costs? Are they trying to increase sales? And again, that goes back to that relationship that you're having with a person of trying to understand, how can I make your job better? How can I help you win at your job? And then understanding how to influence that, how to make changes. So if someone's trying to understand how can I increase sales, it's taking a look at the sales data and saying, what are some different ways that we could do? What are some what if scenarios that we could run to help you feel more confident in your decision? And I would say focus on something that is going, again, a primary stakeholder, someone that has influence and that is going to make a meaningful change to them as quickly as possible. So being able to do like a really big, quick win, as difficult as that sounds, that's how you're going to create that internal champion for yourself. And then that is going to be able to basically have that person be in charge of the sway and making those decisions.
Yeah, you never want it to feel forced, right? It's actually an interesting thing. Well, I won't make the bad joke because no one likes it yet. But data teams will procure business intelligence software without actually talking to the business sometimes, not all the time. And I find that really fascinating. Like, why are you going to go buy the thing that you're not even going to use, you're going to administer, but it's actually for other people? So to Katrina's point, if you are evaluating software, like, let's get the people in the room that are actually going to use it and see if they get value. Because if they don't, then what are we doing here?
And one more thing I'll add to that quick is one way that you can do that if you do have an existing BI system is to look at usage and see kind of like who's using this a lot and what are they doing with it, to see if you have like a hidden champion and to understand if like, hey, this person already is trying to do things with this solution. Go talk to them. Go say, what do you hate? What is difficult about this? What can we make better? Yep.
Hi. Are your offerings only for sales and marketing functions, or is it function agnostic?
Any data that you have. I think one of my favorite use cases is about a chicken factory in the United States where they're using a data app, that what we saw today, to basically track egg production. And so it's anything that you want to do, anything like Jake said that is in your cloud warehouse that you can imagine, you can pretty much create in Sigma.
Just needs to be in the warehouse.
Yep. Any data you put in your warehouse, then you can go have fun with it.
Thanks. What sort of success have you had with external customers? So a business wanting to set and do with external customers?
Yeah. So as Jake kind of alluded to before, we do offer embedding. So I've helped a lot of customers think about how to package their data that they have through their software and then offer that through something like Sigma that is going to then be a data monetization scenario. And so there are a couple ways that you can like price different access to data, whether it be like, hey, your base tier is just like looking at information, or a more advanced can be like, oh, you can go poke around and you can actually like embed Sigma itself. So you could go all the way up to like, oh, you can make your own dashboards and you can make your own analytics. Whatever you want to do as the business that is providing the data, you can offer that to your customers and customize it. Do you have a answer? Okay. Was that?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. All right. Anyone else have other questions?
Cool. We'll be here and we'll be at the booth. So thank you all so much. We appreciate the time.